All right, so UFC 317 just finished. We have a new lightweight champion of the world, and oh my God, we have a new superstar, a new sensation, a new pound for pound, potentially a new GOAT, and that man's name is Ilia El Matador Topuria. He went out there, he destroyed Charles Oliveira, knocked him out unconscious in the very first round. Now, it was all out action. They went at each other. It was absolute carnage. Within 5 seconds, they were on one another. Charles Oliveira walks people down. Ilia knew that he wasn't going to have to work to find him, cut off the cage, track him down, back him up and all that stuff. No, it was just like a car crash. He went at each other straight away. Few little shots. Ilia's catching him early. Charles goes for a takedown with the body lock. Looks like he had it. And then at the final second, Ilia Topuria managed to use his balance and his core strength to land in top position. From there, Charles Oliveira starts looking for leg locks. He defends. Ilia lands a few shots. They back up, they get back on the feet, and they go back to work with the hands. And it was a jab, a right hand, a left hook as Charles was walking him down that sent him to the canvas. Every single shot that Ilia was throwing, he was landing with big power. About 30-40 seconds into the fight, Charles Oliveira was already cut. And the final combination, let's talk about this. It's a beautiful jab, a piercing jab from Topuria, and then he backs up. And the reason that was so cool is that he lands the jab, Topuria backs up. That makes Charles come forward to chase him down. He throws the right hand as Charles is coming forward. Obviously, that increases the power. And from the moment the right hand connects, Oliveira is out cold. But he throws a left hook behind it, like a good boxer. That connects. Oliveira goes down, and as he goes down, boom, headbutts his own knee for a third shot, hits the canvas, is out cold. Eyes are wide open. It was a very haunting knockout, let me tell you. And whilst he's there, unconscious on the canvas, with the eyes open, Topuria lands a couple of hammer fists and his head is bouncing around with the eyes open. I'm telling you, that was as nasty as knockouts come. And what made it even more shocking is that he did it to Charles Oliveira. That's been in there with some of the greatest. That is a former champion. That has the most bonuses, the most finishes, the most submissions. We know the caliber of the man. He made it look easy. He said he would do it in the first round. He was already celebrating the win on Friday night. He was standing on a table in a restaurant, swinging a shirt around. Everyone was like, yeah, you did it, champ, you did it. And everyone was like, this guy's out of his mind. But I tell you what, he's something special. He truly is. So, congratulations, of course, to Ilia Topuria and commiserations to Charles Oliveira. Incredible fighter, legendary career. He's still going to have some big fights, but the days of being the champion, I think they're numbered now. That was a really bad knockout, and of course, he's lost other fights as well. But what a career, what a guy, and what a show of respect between the two of them. In the build-up to this fight, they were very cordial. Of course, they both expressed confidence going into the fight, but they were very respectful. And even after the fight, they embraced, they shared some words, they were trying to cover their mouths to keep it nice and private, and it was just pure class from both men. That is what martial arts is all about. Yeah, we like to see a bit of shit talk, and we saw that with Paddy Pimblett. We're going to get to that in a minute. But what we saw from Charles and Ilia was just beautiful. So congrats to both men. Ilia Topuria, the man's a force of nature. He's absolutely unbelievable. He'll probably be the pound for pound number one, or maybe, I mean, him or Islam, it's got to be something like that. And that fight's going to happen down the line. Joe Rogan was talking about it. He said if they do that in Spain at the Bernabeu Stadium, Joe Rogan will be going out to Spain to commentate. I was like, you bastard, I might get that one, but no, it will be Joe Rogan, and that would be a fight to travel for.
How many people?
80,000.
So, of course, Joe Rogan asked Ilia Topuria who he wants next. He said there's a few bitches in the audience.
Some in this arena.
You got one guy that pulls out with a bad back who can't be relied upon. He said, and there's also a blonde bitch as well, clearly referring to Paddy Pimblett. Paddy Pimblett had a camera in his face, jumps out of his chair, runs in the octagon. The two come face to face. Ilia Topuria is there, standing there with two belts, looking just like Conor McGregor did when he became a simultaneous two-weight division champion. By the way, he's a two-weight champion, but he's not a simultaneous two-weight champion. But it was a beautiful shot, and of course, he deserves to have that image and be seen with two belts. Paddy gets in, they start talking shit, right? Saying I don't get knocked out and all the rest of it.
You get knocked out.
I finish you.
Even before the fight.
I finish you, little
Get
man.
that from here.
I finish you.
Of course, remember Luigi Vendramini when he made his UFC debut, I think it was. He got rocked, he got clocked, and I said, oh, you got rocked, but you came back and finished him. He was like, lad, you know what happens. Scousers don't get knocked out.
You know me saying, lad, I'm a Scouser. We don't get knocked out.
Right, so he started going on about all that stuff. Ilia loses his cool with the two belts, kind of pushes him, almost drops the belt and all the rest of it. Paddy thought it was absolutely hilarious. And there it is. It's already set. It's going to happen. Paddy Pimblett versus Ilia Topuria for the lightweight title. That is not something I think that anybody expected, okay? But of course, the way that he beat Michael Chandler, and of course he's undefeated in the UFC, the man deserves it. That is going to be an absolute blockbuster event. And let me tell you right now, here's my early prediction. Paddy Pimblett, Ilia Topuria, that will be the headliner, Madison Square Garden. I'm telling you right now, because of course, we all thought it was going to be John Jones versus Tom Aspinall. Tom Aspinall is now the undisputed champion. John Jones has gone off into retirement. I gave all my thoughts on that on another video. It's a shame. It's whatever. But they need a big fight. And Ilia Topuria versus Paddy Pimblett, that is the level of fight. That is the kind of spectacle and the kind of attraction that they need for Madison Square Garden. So, one more time, Ilia Topuria, the man is just unbelievable. Simple as that. He's incredible. And I could not be a bigger fan of the guy. He's an absolute gentleman out of the octagon. Inside the octagon, he's just an absolute killer. He's got some of the biggest power. He's got beautiful technique, excellent grappling. He's a true professional in every single way. And as I say, just an all-round great human being as well. But that's just the main event. The co-main event was Alejandro Pantoja that made short work, even though it took him 3 rounds of Kai Kara-France. Now, the reason I say that is because within 30 seconds in round 1, he got the body lock, he got the takedown, he got the body triangle with the legs and was threatening the rear naked choke. Round 2 was a bit more competitive. Kai Kara-France, for the most part, was able to keep the fight on the feet, but then in the 3rd round, just like the first, gets a hold of him, drags him down, body triangle, gets the choke, makes it look easy, defended the belt for the 4th time. Kai Kara-France was absolutely devastated, but don't feel too bad. Alejandro Pantoja, outside of Demetrius Johnson, he is the greatest flyweight to ever do it. Just a stunningly dominant performance, which is kind of what we're getting used to now with Pantoja. Before that, we saw the flyweights on display once again. Unreal fight, Joshua Van versus Brandon Royval. Joshua Van going from ranked, I don't know, he was unranked kind of recently, to now ranked #1 contender, to now squaring off with Pantoja, by the way, because he just beat Brandon Royval, who was ranked #1, and he beat him in an absolute classic. Just a fantastic fight from start to finish. Drops Brandon Royval and kind of dropped and stopped all the conversation as to who won the fight, because they might have been 1 apiece. I probably had it 2 for Joshua Van, but still I could see an argument either way. The 3rd round was kind of close, and again, you could have argued it either way, but then when Joshua Van dropped him, that was it. It's a shame for Brandon Royval, great fighter, Raw Dog will be back. But Joshua Van, unbelievable, take him out. It just goes to show, you go out there, you seize the day, whatever you want to call it, you make it happen. Fights on 316, gets a knockout. Fights on 317 against the #1 contender. Beats him in a stunning fight, and now he faces off with Alejandro Pantoja. Take it out, my friend. Earlier in the night, we had Beneil Dariush beating Renato Moicano. Beneil Dariush got dropped at the end of the 1st round, but he was controlling the fight with the kicks. There was a bit of wrestling on display as well, but for the most part, Beneil Dariush out-grappled Moicano. Yeah, he did have to fight through a bit of adversity in the 1st round where he got dropped with the 1st round. Other than that, a lot of grappling, Beneil Dariush using a lot of kicks in round 1 and a lot of grappling, as I said, in round 2 and 3. And Peyton Talbot kicked off the main card, getting back to winning ways, beating Felipe Lima, and again, using the wrestling, which was kind of surprising because Felipe Lima was doing well on the feet, but he kept continuing to try and wrestle Peyton Talbot. And he was getting manhandled. Not manhandled, he was doing all right, but he was kind of losing a lot of the scrambles and then losing positions. Peyton Talbot was threatening on the feet, but Felipe Lima looked really good on the feet, and his corner was saying, please stop going for takedowns, but still, he didn't really listen. It was a good performance from both men. It was an entertaining fight. Peyton Talbot walks away with the decision. Before that, we saw a sick knockout. Gregory Rodriguez, Robocop, knocked out Jack Hermanson. Beautiful left hook, knocks him out cold. Jack Hermanson, one of the nicest guys in all the sport. He's led there, unconscious, not moving, stiff as a board. Robocop walks over, boom, gives him a couple more before Herb Dean could get in there. It was, you know, I mean, it is what it is. You're in fight mode, so I'm not judging Robocop at all. But Jack Hermanson, he's a nice guy. It didn't need to be done, but it is what it is. We saw another finish before that in the 1st round. Jose Miguel Delgado got the job done over Hyder Emil in 26 seconds with a beautiful knee. Tracy Cortez beat Viviana Araujo via decision. A dominant decision, used a lot of good grappling. And Terrence McKinney went out there and beat Vyacheslav Borshov, Slavakos, in 55 seconds. Like always, he's kill or be killed. Catches the kick, gets a takedown, gets the choke. There it is. There's my instant reaction. Ilia Topuria is something special, and I am absolutely exhausted. I look like I just got back from Vegas this morning. I was doing Power Slap last night. I had some stuff on in Vegas all week. Before that, I was in Baku. Before that, I was in Canada. I've been all over the goddamn place. I'm finally home for a week. Anyway, thank you for watching. Subscribe and ring the bell because I am home. I am going to be doing videos every single day. So you don't want to miss any of that stuff. And some members' videos dropping tomorrow as well. Anyway, thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about Ilia Topuria versus Islam Makhachev versus Paddy Pimblett. And what do you think about him in general and UFC 317? Take care. Goodbye.